I'm not even gonna call this a review because I feel like sometimes my reviews of Guy Gavriel K books all end up sounding kind of the same. So this is gonna be me talking a little bit about Children of Earth and Sky and some general musings on Guy Gavriel K, and that's yeah, we're just gonna go from there. Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking a bit about Children of Earth and Sky and Guy Gavriel K in general, specifically the shared world books and those that he's written in historical parallels. And I wanted to talk about this because as I was reading this book, which Children of Earth and Sky, which to get to the part where I feel like it's kind of ends up sounding the same, is it's a Guy Gavriel K book, so it's very good. This was, I think, in the lower kind of echelon for me, partially because I think I would have liked this more had I read this before Brightness long ago, which ended up really, really high up, and All the Seas in the World, All the Seas of the World, which are also ranked a little bit above this. And this is the one that came out first, and I feel like I should have read this one first in retrospect, but I didn't. And so I do feel like that would have been a little bit better doing it that way. But it's one of the things with Kay where he does like to explore a lot of similar themes, character archetypes, and sometimes even just really similar scenes you'll see. And this one felt a little bit too familiar at points, but partially, again, because some things reminded me of scenes or characters that I enjoyed a little bit more in some ways. And that's what I ran into specifically with the character arc for Danica in Children of Earth and Sky. I liked the arc in All the Seas of the World for a kind of similar type of character more, and I liked the way that that was executed. Now, again, I think that part of this is probably intentional because those books definitely pull off some elements from here. I just read it in the wrong order. And so I feel like if I would have done this first and then saw, oh, now he's doing some things differently in these books, I think that might have had a better effect for me. But it also got me thinking specifically about what I've been seeing as my least favorite Guy Gavriel K so far, which a lot of people really, really love, which was the Sarantine Mosaic. And I think part of that is for me, I wasn't sure and I didn't know yet what Kay was really doing with those books, and kind of looking in retrospect and looking at his books that are in within the kind of the shared world and that all reference to each other and that type of thing. There's a bit of a change because you have the first two standalones, which I think are the true standalones, Ghana, which I've not read yet, and A Song for Our Bone, which I really, really enjoyed. That was my second Guy Gavriel K book. But The Lions of Our Son starts the sort of the historical fantasy connected world ones, and the books tend to all reference each other. You read The Lions of Our Son, and there's going to be some small things. And within like the Saratoga Mosaic, it's pretty small with what it references there, but then it can vary and it can be a lot more. And in certain books, there's like a lot of references to other books, and you start to see that more and more. I feel like Children of Earth and Sky is a really big one where it's really connecting to a lot of the other books. Brightness Long Ago and All the Seas of the World do have some of that stuff as well. But this one was a little bit more of that. And so I think part of it is it's very intentionally trying to remind me, trying to, you know, give you those ideas again, but kind of shift them, change them, show how things have changed. And I think it works really well. But I was thinking back, and especially with the publishing timeline, the Sarantine Mosaic, I think, is where Guy Gavriel K was first experimenting with this type of thing, where the Lions of Our Son was beautiful, and I still absolutely love that. But that had more of a straightforward plot. It was still very character focused, but we were focusing on specifically, we had our main characters, we had some side characters, but we were really going in that direction. Whereas I remember one of my complaints about the Sarantine Mosaic being I felt like you had some characters who were sort of introduced and then just like were dropped for a while and then you check back in. And yet I found myself in later Guy Gavriel K books really just praising the way he'll just hop into a random character and you'll get a little bit of their story. And he especially likes to do that around deaths and those types of things as well. And so it's something too where I was thinking, I wonder if I would enjoy that more because Children of Earth and Sky really feels like that sort of mosaic type of book where we're getting these different characters and we are following some specific characters. Like we have a young, angry artist in Pero. We have Donica, who wants to get revenge for her family because of raiders, which is something I've read before again as well. We have Leonora, who is because she's trying to get away from her current life. She's agreed to pose as the wife of a doctor and be a spy. And we've got some other characters as well, including a merchant, Marin, and others of varying importance that we get when we see these different characters. But this one, I feel like part of it is I do like when there's a little bit more of like a straightforward thing for personally, more than just kind of the mosaic. But this is where I really just started to think like that's what he's so good at doing. And I think like a brain song was a framed narrative. And with somebody telling the story. And I think, again, that's one of the reasons I really like that, because I like a little bit more of that actual narrative structure. But when you look at all of Kay's works together, especially, it's where I started to really think about the fact that it's I feel like the Sarantine mosaic and just the idea of a mosaic is really what he is doing here. It's not just these individual standalones. It's not just that you have to read them all in a specific order. It's wherever you pick them up. And I do think I like in retrospect, I would do Children of Earth and Sky, Brightness Long Ago, All the Seas of the World in that order for those three. I think specifically, even though this one's a little less connected, but they're all in the same general area, and I just feel like it would make sense that way. A lot of the others, I don't think it matters as much, but when you read them, there's all of these connections to each other, no matter what part of the timeline they're in. There's this sort of just circular feel to them, and it reminded me a lot. The plot of the Sarantine Mosaic is we have our mosaicist who is creating this beautiful dome and all of these experiences, and that's what he's tasked to do, is to create that. And it just made me really think about it, and especially with Children of Earth and Sky, which mentions mosaics and like the tesserae several times, a little bit more specifically, and is a bit focused on art too, as we have a painter, and paintings are really important plot points in Children of Earth and Sky as well, for several reasons. But it just really made me think about the fact that that really is, I think, the best way to describe these books. They're all pieces, and you can, when you read them, you appreciate others more, or you'll see different things where it flows into the next. And so it's one of those things where it can sometimes sound like a complaint, and maybe it is sometimes, that sometimes his books can feel a little bit similar in certain ways, because he's exploring similar things, but also because of the fact that he does that, it adds something too. And it's where all of my like minor complaints end up actually being positives, because I was just saying, and I'll be very vague here because I don't want any sort of spoiler, but in Children of Earth and Sky, there's a line in there, just about sometimes there is kindness and love. And just talking about how, life can be good. Sometimes you'll have kindness and love in your life. And it reminded me very specifically of A Brightness Long Ago, where there was a line that is the polar opposite of that. And it's, I do not live with love in my life. Not everybody does. And that's not an exact quote, but that's essentially the quote. So it's sometimes you're exploring similar ideas, similar character archetypes, but seeing how things could have gone differently in different situations, with different choices, with different people. And Kay very much likes to explore choices and just moments and like the small things that can happen, and the weaving of lives and experiences together. And it's not just within each individual book, it's within all of these books. And I feel like that's just something that's become, the further I've gotten, the more of his works that I've read. And I sadly, I only have one more of the actual connected ones left, Last Light of the Sun, which I think is more of a minimally connected one, which some of them are. Not all the K books are heavily connected. Some of them are. I just feel like I'm trying to make up a K quote, but that's just so much, is when you compare the characters, you compare some of the quotes, some of the things that happen. It's just amazing that you can see it is very intentionally exploring a lot of those things and how they connect. And it's just, I don't know, all of the little things, whether it's like a very small Easter egg, whether it's a very specific allusion to events of the past. It's just so beautifully done. And again, I'm just picturing this beautiful dome with this mosaic all being put up there. And it's just, that's now how I think of Gag K books here with it. And wow, bringing it back to Children of Earth and Sky. Well, this is not my favorite. This is good. I commented in before too. This is for a Guy Gavriel K book. This is 4 stars. uh, that's a 5-star book for anything else, but I rate it 4, so to help keep in mind my own internal rating of K books, and that's I've done this with some other authors that I really enjoy, where it's just like sometimes a 4 for your series is still like a 5 if it was anything else, but when I have really high expectations, I gotta differentiate somehow. But if anything, this would be more like I don't know. There are some things that I wasn't a huge fan of, but there's so much beauty and just wonderful writing and passages. And this one too really, I think, exhibits that mosaic because there's some chapters that are almost like short stories all their own, where they're telling this their own story, and it's really well done. And again, just Kay is such a masterful writer, and I do highly recommend reading him. But I also think understanding his shifting style and kind of knowing what you're getting into with that, I think will be important because if you really want to just see the same characters, or if you're plot driven as a reader, you really might struggle a little bit with Kay because that's just not quite what he does. And so, while even I said myself, I prefer a little bit more structured of a narrative. I just can't help but enjoy the beauty when he does his more mosaic style books, putting all of these different pieces together and just looking at the works as a whole too. It's just really they're all very good, and some masterpieces in there, some just really good books. But together as well, and just seeing sort of that master work is just really elevates it even more for me. And so there's kind of my musings about Kay and these books, and I am so excited to continue reading his books. I'm sad that I'm getting so far in and don't have as many left to go. But I will definitely be finishing up all of the K books, and I can't imagine that anything will change with how much I'm enjoying them. But then I'm sure I'll have to find another author to fill that void once I'm done. As well as you know darn well I'm going to end up rereading a lot of them, if not all of them at some point as well too. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on Children of Earth and Sky and just Kay's mosaic works in general. Let me know your thoughts if you agree or disagree with kind of the way that I'm looking at it. I'm sure I'm not the only one to make this comparison, or at least I assume I'm not. But I think it's I don't know. It seems very apt to me, and that's kind of how I'm gonna think about it at least going forward. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Check the links in the description as always for the Patreon if you want to support what I do, as well as the Wizard of the Enclave Discord if you want to chat books, whether any of Kay's books, other books, really anything at all. It's a lot of fun and we'd love to have you. And of course, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe.